Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Adam. This is Chris. Thanks for tuning in again. Today, we are going to be talking about big Biz Energy. Small businesses that are getting too busy to do it alone, repetitive tasks, taking away from money-making opportunities, activities, basically just how to scale your business, when is an appropriate time to scale your business, and then what are some resources you can use to do it successfully and make the transition. Stay tuned.
What this got to do with the trans community?
So, scaling your business, going from a small business, going from a solo entrepreneur to the point where you need to grow. Mm-hmm. You need to grow either in a physical sense, your office, your warehouse is too small, mm-hmm. getting too many customers to the point where it's hard to take care of them all, to nurture them the way they need to be by yourself. Mm-hmm. Finding ways to, like I mentioned, automate the process of the repetitive tasks and stuff like that. So we'll kind of just go through a few of the things that we came up with here, and hopefully they help you, inspire you to get growing, grow that biz. These pills will make your biz grow in 2 weeks. That's not true. I don't have those pills.
Marketers hate him.
Yeah.
He uses this one weird trick to grow his business in 2 weeks.
Yeah, don't ever click those links ever. Okay. It's not going to get where you want.
God, where does that take you? What specific sites does that take you to? Tell me them so I can avoid them.
Yeah, I really don't want to go to those at all. Got any bookmarks you can send me? So, you start a business, you start making money, it's your full-time gig, this is what you're doing now. And it starts to get to the point where you find yourself nurturing the business rather than making money, mm-hmm. rather than doing activities, productivity. You're taking care of what you've already done. How do you grow to that next level is basically the point here. So some of the things that we could talk about: tools, templates, systems, software, personnel, mm-hmm. hiring people to help out. Maybe you're just drowning in administrative tasks, and there's just, think there's got to be a better, easier, faster way to complete this at the scale. And most of the time, there's mm-hmm. a way to do it, and it can depend on your industry, and it can depend on how small you are and how big you're getting. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely some steps that one can take so you don't feel like you're drowning, and then you stop making money, essentially, which
right.
is not the point.
Exactly.
So I guess to start is, and I feel like I kind of touched on it, but when is that time where you feel like, okay, I can't do this on my own anymore. I have to either automate things or I need personnel to help. When would you say, and of course it's going to be different for everybody, but when mm-hmm. would you say, what are some signs that a business owner, entrepreneur could look for to where they can start thinking about that process as to growing?
I think it really comes down to any task that can be replicated or repeated. That is a great opportunity for you to start using templates, systems, and tools in order to make that process easier. So at the end of the day, what you want to look at is, what is your end goal? What are you trying to accomplish at the end? And then work your way back from there. Because what you'll find is you're taking a lot of steps, you're putting in a lot of administrative work just to create the same end result. Mm-hmm. And the idea is you got to remove that friction within that process, whether it's on your end or on the customer's end. And the reason that's really important is, in order to scale to take you to that next level, you realize I'm either going to have 2 more of me's
right.
doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, or can I accomplish more with the same amount of time using tools and technology to get me to that point? And mm-hmm. I think that's really important. So anytime you can replicate or repeat a process, great time to use automation. If you're finding that most of your time is trying to open up an account and you have to re-look into all of these different areas to find the customer information, you're like, I got to pull these emails. What was that one email we talked about? We got to pull that up again. That is a great time for you to start using software like a CRM in order to scale your business, because you need to be organized in order to stay on top of everything. So things don't go falling through the cracks, or you're just so disorganized that it's taken away from time where you can be making money. So one important thing is the use of a CRM, and that's customer relationship management software. Bunch of different softwares out there, depending on your needs, your industry, what you're looking to get out of a CRM software. Some of the big players are going to be Salesforce. You have HubSpot taking the lead now. Tons of different CRM solutions that are out there, but it's really just about making the organization and lead nurturing process that much easier for you. One example is HubSpot. I implemented that in 2019 for my wedding DJ business. That one step alone allowed me to scale to where I am to today. And that was really important because I found I wasn't organized. I was having to remember in my head, what hot leads did I have this week? And now I got to follow up with them. Or I'm like, oh, there was a customer I was supposed to send a contract out to, but I opened the email and I forgot about it. Now they don't want to book with me because it took me too long. So one process is to build that CRM software, make it work for you, use it for what you need, and you can find tools to implement and integrate as you go along. But HubSpot and CRMs in general are one very important piece of technology that you need to use to start scaling your business.
It's funny, you use HubSpot on the daily, and I use Salesforce on the daily.
Represent.
And they are different. They are similar in a lot of ways, but they are different. What organization seems like the base issue that an entrepreneur, small business owner might have, to where that would be something that they would look into? And I mean, and the old school organization was a Rolodex, you know?
Yes, a client file, manila folder.
And which you can still do, but nowadays they have these softwares, and HubSpot, I mean, you can use a free version of it, right?
Absolutely. Yep. You can start for free. You can do a lot of things for free and then build up as you go if you want to add on these extras. Right.
And it's not something that you have to drop $1,000 on, and then maybe you'll use all of the tools, maybe you won't. Something like Salesforce would be more like that.
Right.
But HubSpot, it's free to start. You only use the tools that you need to use at the time. And then as you grow, you can add more tools. And then that might incur a fee, a monthly fee or something. But at that time, you are bringing in enough revenue so that it's still helping you make money.
And that's exactly the point, is getting to that part where it starts to pay for itself.
Right.
And it's going to pay for itself over and over.
So you mentioned templates and stuff like that to help with the automation, to help with the repetitive tasks and whatnot. Using a CRM, do they come with templates, or is that just something that you would use the template for?
A little bit of both. They do have some pre-made templates that you can use as a resource to try and craft your message.
Okay.
But the templates, with your free version, you can have up to 5 email templates. So this is just a pre-recorded email, links, pictures, anything inside of an email. And they even have contact tokens, which is going to insert data variables. So a contact's first name, contact's phone number. If you're trying to insert that into the body of the email,
right,
they have those available. So no matter what customer you pull up, it's going to input their data into the field.
Like a mail merge.
Mail merge, absolutely. Yeah. So it makes it super helpful. I found the 5 most frequent templates or emails that I would have to send to a customer. And I would say, all right, this is the email that I need to make into a template. So I'll create that email template. I'll test it out. If it's effective, I'm going to keep using that. One email template I use is a quote follow-up request. So I'm going to create a custom quote for you. The next one is going to be, now you're a new client. Here's your new client welcome email with instructions for the next steps, what to expect. The third one is a request for a review after the sale, after the completion of the service. Then we're going to follow up. Hey, want to check in and see how everything was? What'd you think of our DJ service? If you had a positive experience, here's a few places you can leave a review. Another one is just general business follow-up after the sale. One is photo booth. Photos are ready as a template. Because I would find, here I am trying to type out the same thing that I've been typing out before.
Right.
The same process can be done with a template in Google Docs if you want.
Right.
If you just want to create a Google Doc where you can copy paste into an email later, that works great. HubSpot has a sales extension, a Chrome browser extension, where it actually integrates into your Gmail and calendar. So you have a nice tab or pane on the right-hand side displaying all the customer contact info. It'll pull in your templates into your emails for you.
Oh.
It automatically logs all of your emails. So if a client sends an email to you, if it's the same email address, it'll automatically log into the CRM system.
Right.
So you don't have to, I'm going to copy this message and put it over here. It's automatically logged.
Sure.
Also has email open tracking.
Oh, right. Yeah.
For those important sales follow-ups. If you see someone is opening your piece of mail or your email quite often, now's a good time to send a follow-up email because you see that they're engaged.
Right.
You see they're interested.
Right.
And this can help you decide what contacts you want to follow up with. Another big one that I always like to point out is the meeting calendar. Meeting calendars are the shiznit. They are so helpful. They take away 6 emails per client.
Right.
Because it's always, I'd love to schedule a time to chat. When works best for you?
Sure.
They don't tell me their availability.
Right.
We could have saved ourselves an email, but they don't.
Right.
So I follow up. Best way to book a meeting is to use my meeting calendar. And I'll insert that link. Just as easily, they can hop on there, pick a time that I've predefined.
Right.
And they're able to schedule a meeting. It automatically sends an email to them with a confirmation, with a calendar invite. It'll send a 1-hour reminder follow-up just before the meeting. And then we have our meeting. And that is also logged into the CRM software. So it's a great way to map out and see how you are nurturing that lead throughout the buyer's journey. And it just makes everything so much easier. Taking away those follow-up emails, just making it so much easier.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's really important.
Like you said, it's automating those repetitive tasks.
Yes.
And taking a little bit of the busy work out of the busy work.
100%.
To help free up time for the money-making activities. Setting appointments can be a money-making activity depending on the type of industry you're in. But why not have that in a format that is relevant to today's times, and so you don't have a calendar on the wall where you're writing people's names and time you're supposed to meet with them at a place or something. Now it's all done right then and there. And then, like you said, a cool thing about it is it automatically goes to their customer profile. So all of your contact, all of your touch points are there. The history's there. No question.
Right.
They can't say I sent you an email about this or you didn't send me this email, but like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I see that you opened it 3 times.
Right.
Once on June 2nd, once on the 4th, once on the 7th.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I can just think of a million different type of industries where I could see that being incredibly helpful. Any sort of consulting, any sort of
anywhere where accountability is important.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And not that you want to throw that in the customer or client's face.
No.
Like, oh, hey,
But it can save your ass though.
Yeah. I see you were on the Murder, She Wrote fan page for 6 hours during our meeting. That's not cool. But no, I totally agree.
Because I think one of the biggest things about the CRM software and that sort of automated the emailings, the texts, the calls and stuff like that is it documents your communication with the client.
Yes.
Automatically. So you don't have to worry about, I mean, yeah, you can write notes about what you talked about, but depending, I mean, if you use a VoIP system, like Ring Central specific, you can record every call if you want, and then you can just copy that MP3 and drop it in there, and boom, I have every call that we've ever had. Here it is.
Yes.
Here it is.
Yeah. Great way for staying organized.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really recommend any CRM software just to get started.
Right. And HubSpot happens to have a free version for really small businesses. I mean, really, having a CRM software isn't limited to businesses who are looking to grow.
No, I honestly think anyone even just starting out should start with it.
Right.
And build from there.
Anything where you're collecting customer information, at least you have it saved in one spot. A hub spot, if you will.
If there was just like this one place, like a hub, one place, like a spot.
A hub.
Nah.
That doesn't make sense.
Let's just call it Constant Contact.
There you go. Constant Contact. Trademarked.
Yeah.
Trademarked.
Yeah. They're all right. They're pretty decent for CRM software. A little more limited in some aspects. Even Wix has a fully integrated CRM, invoicing sort of platform. All these places are coming into this one size or, every product to meet your needs under one roof sort of thing.
Right.
And that can be great for a lot of things.
It can be, yeah. And the cool thing about it is that these CRMs is there's so many different kinds that offer different tools. So you don't need to buy $1,000 a month Salesforce subscription. If you have 10 clients, you're a solopreneur and you're the only one bringing clients in, the only one doing this stuff.
Right.
That's the type you just get HubSpot for free.
Right.
And how many employees can you have on HubSpot for the free version?
I actually don't know if there's a limit currently, but I do have 5 team members who have HubSpot accounts, and that allows them to access the information that I allow them access to. So each client is assigned to a DJ, and that DJ has their own username and account. So once they're assigned to that account, that DJ can now access their information. It shows up in their software. There's even a mobile app. So all of our DJs have the HubSpot mobile app.
Okay.
So they can pull up customer details on the fly. You can even send an email right from the app or the software itself.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, I have 5 different DJs. They understand their process, what they're supposed to do with that. And it's great for keeping everyone connected. Instead of me putting all this information into an email to send over to someone, you have a client profile. That's what it's there for.
Right.
It has a note section, email section. So I can even jump in and see if a DJ followed up from a client.
Right.
Oh, I see someone sent an email already. Did you follow up with them? They're usually on top of it. But it's a great way to create teams and users to limit the amount of information they can access and what they're able to do. And then you use that to grow. But it's taken out so much work on my end.
Oh, for sure.
That it seems stupid not to implement technology like that.
Right.
Most recently, I started utilizing automation a little bit more. HubSpot offers an automation tool, but it starts at about $400 a month.
Oof.
Yeah, big oof. So for most businesses, that's a little out of your price range. So I found this really cool software that is a CRM as well as is many other things. But I was impressed by their email automation and their logic and condition variables in order for you to nurture leads.
Meaning, like, if they send a request, the first condition, they automatically get, hey, we received your request, we'll be reaching out.
Right.
3 days after you talk to them, it sends them another touch, and it's just all, you build the template yourself, essentially.
Correct. Everything you have to build yourself.
Right.
So you have to build an email to send a copy to the client, and then you're going to input the data variables. And you're going to do the same thing for an email to yourself. Then you put in a wait condition, wait for 4 days, and then you're going to send an email. The way that you can use logic and conditioning in that is, let's say if someone did not select photo booth upgrade, if they did not select that, I'm going to send a follow-up email suggesting, hey, add on our photo booth service. If they did already select photo booth services, well, I'm going to send them a different email.
Right.
Just kind of finding ways to engage and connect with your contacts in a way that's relevant to them. So the email automation, I had this idea to create this online portal, basically a one place where a client can go to build their own custom DJ quote instead of reaching out to me and me following up. They can sign their contract and pay the deposit, and they can also work on their music and timeline info. So it was about removing friction from the buyer's process in total, and also taking administrative work off of my plate. Because I found I'm following up with these emails, creating a contract, et cetera, et cetera. That was my end goal. Where in this process can I make this a little bit easier? So I found that the online portal tool, it's literally just 3 forms, email automation sequences. They're hooked up to a payment portal, et cetera. But this is the new direction that I want to start going as the world kind of veers towards self-service.
Yeah.
They want to be able to take care of things themselves. It's not always preferred.
Right.
They don't always want to check themselves out at Walmart or the grocery store. Some of it's more of an inconvenience. But for others, you're actually giving them a solution to their problem. When you are researching for insurance companies, if all you got to do is you send some of your info and they'll reach out to you later, well, you didn't find a solution yet. If you were to input your info into a quoting tool and it spits out some rates for you,
right.
Well, you just found your solution.
Goosehead.com/Adam-Morris.
I love it. It's perfect. Using technology to remove friction from the buying process is going to convert more customers for you. So that's super important, is to allow that option for self-service and actually give them the solution to the end. So for me, it's they can actually book a DJ in 15 minutes.
Right.
Because they paid their deposit, signed the contract, they're ready to go. All the other DJs or wedding companies, you have to reach out to them.
Right.
They haven't solved anything
yet. Or even worse, they have a contact form on their website that you have to put all your shit in, hit submit, and then wait a couple days to maybe for them to call you.
And that's exactly it. And I was doing that for so many years.
Because everybody else is.
Everybody else was. And over time, you have to realize, okay, how can I do this better than the other companies?
Yeah.
And by offering this, it's now a solution to their problem. They're like, after they're there, they don't need to go to another website.
Right.
They're like, I found what I'm looking for. This looks good. I'm ready to move forward. And again, each form in that buyer's journey, the process, all has specific emails to follow up with them, to nurture that lead throughout the whole sales process. It's just, I'm really excited for seeing how everything works out together.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine anything like that is going to hurt your business, because the people who prefer to do it the other way will still call, or they'll still fill out the contact form and hope that you'll call them or something like that, or they just want to do it via email or text or something like that. So those options, you didn't take those away, but you just added another way for them to do it. Like you said, less friction. They get the price immediately, which I think was probably one of the biggest things that is probably going to help you in the future, is them being able to flat out build their package right there on the website, get an exact amount that it's going to cost so that they can budget it into their wedding, and then book your DJ. Just click a button, pick your date, pick your DJ, you're good. Yeah. And then I think the online contract, the payment portal, and then being able to build their own playlist right there. I mean, I just, from, me knowing you for as long as you have and how long you've been doing this, I know how much time that took out of your day going back and forth with these people. Do you have like an automated email to where if it's within a certain time of the event and they don't have the music uploaded yet, do you have an automated email that sends it out to them?
That is an option, but I don't have that set up yet. Where that condition would say, if the user has not submitted this yet, send follow-up. Right now, it's just a generic we're following up, and that's after the contract is signed. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a month, and then we send monthly reminders. Hey, friendly reminder, keep working on your music and timeline.
Right.
But once someone submits their music timeline on that third form, it deactivates them from that last automation and puts them on the new one. It's going to send an email to me notifying me, new submission on music and timeline. Here's the client. Now I'm going to see which DJ it's for, forward that info to them, or I can create a conditional logic for that because they actually get to select who is your DJ as it's assigned.
Right.
And that could, if condition equals this DJ, send email to this DJ.
Right.
So there are some ways to do it. It hasn't been set up yet, but that is an option.
Sure. And then the best part of all is all of this contact back and forth between you, the client, the DJ, the client. It's all saved in the CRM under the client profile. So even being a small business, a wedding DJ, a wedding planner, a floral place, or just specifically to that kind of industry, but any of those would certainly benefit from at least a minimal sort of CRM software. And not necessarily, you don't have to have the automated email process, but having one in place, though, it kind of gives you, it kind of shines up the user experience a little bit. It, like you said, takes away the friction, but it also makes you look like more of an established company having this process in place because you're using technology to your advantage.
Yes.
Rather than, I guess, the alternative. Not
right because on the outside it looks like they're unorganized or unprofessional,
right?
They're like, oh wow, they didn't think about that,
right?
But this person did, and then there's that trust factor.
Yep.
You feel more connected with them. You're like, okay, these are the ones who have it together. They're organized. Bigger trust.
I think it definitely builds bigger trust as well. Being able to build the quote. Right then and there.
It's straightforward, honest pricing.
Right. They can see immediately. Maybe it's out of their budget. If it's out of their budget, hey, thanks for not making me waste both of our time.
That's exactly it.
I'm
pre-qualifying.
Exactly.
Pre-qualifying all these leads.
They're pre-qualifying you as a service provider based on the price range that they can see. And then you're pre-qualifying them to see if, okay, well, they only want the base wedding package. What can we, can I work with them to add something else, or a certain DJ works best with the smaller weddings kind of thing. So you get that information and you're able to tailor their experience based on something that they don't even think about.
100%. One of that is called lead scoring, where based on predefined conditions, you can say this one is worth a little bit more.
Sure.
So for certain dates, I might say, anything from December through April is the best lead that I want to nurture forever, because not too many leads happen throughout that time frame. So that would make it more valuable to me to capture that lead. Whereas, kind of like you said, if someone gets a base package for the same date versus they want some upgrades, well, obviously it's the one with upgrades that we would be more inclined to try to pursue. And that's just basic lead scoring.
Sure.
You create an opportunity, you see how much it's worth.
Yeah.
How bad do you want it? How much are you going to chase it?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same. Somebody does a home auto motorcycle quote versus just a 1994 Toyota Corolla.
Right.
There's one I'm going to call more than the other,
Right.
So that is a very handy tool to not only automate, but just make everything run a little bit smoother, freeing up your time to build more templates, to put more energy and effort. I mean, you built your website by yourself. So you had all this time to do that because everything else is sort of running on its own a little bit. And you have help. You have other DJs that are using your platform. It's all organized. It's all in one spot. You and them can all see the same information. And it's cool too, as the employer, essentially being able to monitor their activity with these leads that are coming, to make sure you're not passing them leads and they're either taking it for themselves and fucking you over, or they're just not acting on it, which is losing you a lead.
Right.
So that's just as important, I feel, especially if you have people working for you, with you, to be able to monitor the activity to make sure you're all on the same page.
Yes. 100%. Accountability is really important, and it just makes you seem more organized, more well prepared. Now, specifically for my business, I do. They're not the team that is going to be nurturing the leads themselves. I actually handle that in-house, and then once they're the customer, they become that. But yes, you can have a sales team that is routed leads, and then, like you said, you're monitoring them to follow up, see if they're doing what you need, see what's working, what's not, and again, using all available data to make your decision, to make well-informed decisions. That's really important. One thing I did when I was building out my email automation, I had this email automation. I was sending like 20 emails in 2 weeks or something. It was just remind them as much as possible, get in front of them. And then I realized, okay, I got to look back at my contacts and see when was the first time they visited the site, when did they submit a form, and how long did it take until they became a customer. That was their buyer's journey. So I had to take a look and see, how often should I be reaching out to them? And I realized, okay, it sometimes takes someone 1 to 2 months until they finally make a purchase decision.
Sure.
So in my head, now I need to space out those emails.
Sure.
So I want to make sure that I'm still making touch points, because I would have done great with everyone planning within a month, but someone 2 months decision making, my emails would have been done for a month already.
Right.
So it was revisiting the data to support my decisions moving forward. And that's how I developed that sales process for that lead nurturing.
And you wouldn't even have been able to review that data if you didn't have something collecting the data.
Yes.
Which is why having a base CRM is so important for anything you do. And I mean, like you said, being a business owner, there's so many different hats you have to wear. This is just one of those things that makes this hat a little, the organization part of it just a little bit easier.
Yes, 100%. Just like you implementing QuickBooks to do your accounting for you. It may not be the overall solution you need. It may not be do everything that you want it to.
Right.
But its base foundation is exactly what you need to stay organized and really to grow and scale your business. And that's what it's about.
Every dollar coming in and out is tracked by QuickBooks.
Right. You wouldn't start, moving into 3 locations, going from 1 to 3 locations unless you know where your money's going to be going.
Right.
So it'd be silly for you to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to, toss the receipt in that bin over there. It'll get accounted for.
Right. And it's the same when you're generating any sort of leads, or you're trying to market yourself, because you need to know who's being receptive to your marketing, and is your activity worth it, or are you doing too much activity in a certain amount of time, or are you not doing enough? So it's unfortunately, that's just one of those hats you got to wear as a business owner. You have to be aware of that, of the activity coming in and out, monitoring it, and then adjusting your response times and activities based on the information that you're getting.
Yes.
So scaling, I guess, from starting something very small, one of the foundations is going to be having that organizational structure in place. You can't grow, you can't scale unless you have organization. Because if you try to, once you get up that next rung of the ladder, you're not going to know what's going on. Everything's all spread out, and you have 20 more customers a month coming in, but you don't organize their information, your contacts and stuff. All those customers are going to go somewhere else, and then your whole brand is going to suffer.
Yep.
So I definitely feel like that is something very important for really any business to do.
Absolutely. And one thing I learned is striking when the iron is hot, the fire is hot. Iron. Yeah. You have to jump on the opportunities when they're presented to you. Because there were a couple times where I could have grown and scaled my business, but I didn't have the systems in place. So I wasn't able to. And
it was only over the last 2 years, 2019?
Yeah, it was about 3 or 4 years ago, that first opportunity where I could really start scaling and growing. I didn't have the systems in place. I didn't have the processes. I was too young into it that I just didn't know. So I wasn't able to scale. It got too busy too quick, and I wasn't able to really follow up and nurture the leads as the way they should.
Right.
And then it wasn't until later that, all right, now I'm ready to scale, and that opportunity came, and then I took it, and it made that less overwhelming.
Right.
It was much more manageable.
All the energy, time, effort, money you put into building the business, basically, it was kind of falling out the back of the car because you weren't organized enough to grow.
Right. And that was ultimately where I wanted to be.
Right.
I wanted to scale that into something that could be a full-time job where I had a team working events for me, where I'm basically making money without having to earn it or be there to earn it.
Right.
And that's just how it is. It was like 4 or 5 years ago that I watched this video. There's a DJ in Florida, and this DJ was like, yeah, I built my business. We're $1 million business now. He goes, we got DJs of small caliber, less experience, medium, high-end, premier DJ sort of thing. But he was explaining how he grew and scaled his DJ business. He's like, I started out with me. I started growing. I got a team together, started putting everything together, and it just started working. And using that as inspiration, I am now following those footsteps.
Sure.
Growing it into that team.
Yeah.
To where we're doing
multiple events per day, per weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because before it was maximum when it was just you, one event per day.
Right.
If you're lucky, maybe on a Friday and Saturday.
Right.
Which is 52 to 104 if you have every weekend booked in a year. But now you got 4 or 5 DJs, that turns into potentially 500 events you could do in a year because you just have so many different opportunities, and you never would have had that if you weren't being able to organize the leads coming in, where your marketing dollars are going, how well it's being received, and all of that stuff.
And it was as soon as I got that first DJ set up, that first sales process, everything kind of together, I realized now I can repeat that for the next DJ.
Right.
And the next, and it became so much easier because I was able to copy paste that training into the next one.
Right. And I'm sure there's things you did for the first DJ that you realize maybe you could have done better with the next one. Cut a few things, add a couple things, and just refine your process as you go along. With any business, any person, refine as you learn more and go along.
Right.
But it's almost impossible to do that if you don't have the metrics to look at it.
Or if you're too busy doing all the admin stuff that you can't even take a moment to look away. You're like, I just got so much paperwork.
Right. And that's not anybody's goal to go into business, is to sit there and drown in administrative work, you know?
I want to work 10-hour days, make no money. I want to struggle to get by.
You should start an insurance company, by the way. That's about it.
It'll get there, man.
It will. It absolutely will. And I feel like I have a lot of these tools already. You know, I mean, we use Salesforce and stuff, but I absolutely have a process in place for when I get a new lead, how I'm following up with them. If they purchase, if they don't, I can set a follow-up for 6 months, a year, and I can do all that stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have access to automation yet. I could do it on myself if I wanted to.
Sure.
But through Salesforce, if I'm already paying for it every month, I may as well. I don't know why I don't have that yet.
Right.
But that's something that's coming in the future.
But instead, you built out some templates. You realize, okay, what's been working for these follow-up emails, what's getting responses, what isn't. And then you're able to refine your sales process moving forward.
Right. But only because I had the information right there. I could see what I sent in the past, what didn't work, what did work. So basically, I guess step 1, ground zero, starting a business, if you have any intention of growing and making it more than just a part-time hobby. If you're turning your hobby into a business, you have to set the foundations to be organized. And having a CRM software is just one of those things that just helps. I mean, and this is even if you're selling to your neighbors or if you're going business to business type sales, like you gotta organize that stuff. And if you don't have that, you're going to learn that you spend more time searching for information that you had once. Where did I put it? Is it in this folder, that notebook? I don't know. If you have something like this where it's all in one space, it's a hell of a lot easier.
Way easier. And it's like that that one statistic, is it can't remember the percentage, but it is cheaper to retain a current client than it is to find and onboard a new one.
Oh yeah, I think it's somewhere like high, it's like 80% or something. It's like
Yeah,
really
like,
high
like
number.
double or yeah.
It's a hell of a lot cheaper to keep a client than it is to get a new one. That's it. And the way you do that is by having your shit organized, having processes in place so that you can repeat the successful activities and tasks that are drawing in the business without having to constantly be like, oh, did I send them that? Did I do that? I mean, because I've been in that place where I wasn't organized, and I'm just like, I realized I didn't call this person and I should have.
Yep.
Or I called this person yesterday and I forgot, so I'm going to call them again today, have the same conversation, and they're like, the hell, dude?
Yeah.
All right, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong number.
So if you or any of your friends need someone who's calling you every other day because I forgot that I called you the day before and I was just following up just to make sure I'm the guy. I am the guy. So,
but having that structure in place, it almost makes that impossible. And then what it makes possible is adding more to your plate without it spilling over, essentially.
Yep.
And that's what these tools and software. So basically, I guess the foundation of the point of this episode is organization.
That's the plate,
or
are those the dividers on the tray?
Yeah, those are the tray, right? Those lunch trays. Yeah, the little dividers and stuff. And then having the CRM is basically the plate where you have all of this stuff put on, but it's separated and organized.
It's the second plate.
Second plate. Everybody needs a second plate.
We've had one plate, but what about second plate? So you have your first plate, dividers, food portioned out, almost spilling over. You're like, this can't go any higher. Second plate. Allowing you to build up a second tier.
Yep. If you've ever been to a buffet, you need that second plate. You know?
Need it.
You don't go back up with the same plate. That's unsanitary.
No.
You get a second plate.
That's right.
As far as when is it time to scale, I feel like that's not something that can be told to you. That's just something that you have to understand, that when you're getting caught up in these non-money making activities in order to help just sustain your business, that's a solid indication that it's time to start investing into these tools or exploring these tools and software and stuff that are just going to help organize your business, your life, automate things that are repetitive and stuff like that. And that's really the stepping stone. And then once you have those in place, your growth just comes organically because your business model is working. You're gaining clients, you're gaining revenue. You got to organize it now so that you can continue it without being bogged down by the bullshit, essentially.
Yes.
And you've done that. And there's been like almost a night and day from before your CRM, the HubSpot, when you started doing all this automation, templates, and then now. You don't have to sit there and send all this. Client sends you an email. You don't have to send that to the DJ and then make sure that they're sending it back to them. It's all right there.
It's all being handled now. And just like you said, it is a night and day difference between before I was using a CRM until after.
Right.
And even the $8 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month tools that I realized this is a great value add to my business, it has returned tenfold. Right. Any money, tenfold back. Right. I'm always growing and scaling off of what tools I've invested in. It is definitely worthwhile. Right.
So if you're a small business owner and you're thinking, I don't need that. I don't need to have a CRM. I only have 10 clients, Well, that's 10 people. You have to remember all of your contacts points. It's 10 people's information you have to put somewhere so that you're not going to lose it and keep it safe as well. Damn it. But having a tool like this, it's all one place.
Yes.
And it makes it a hell of a lot easier.
It makes it a hell of a lot easier.
So do that.
Yeah. Whip your tool out. Give them that big biz energy.
The big biz energy. That's what you got to go into it with, and that's how you get there.
Yeah.
Organization, using the tools and software programs that are available, There's so many different things that are tailored even to different types of industries. Take a look at what's out there, what tools you could use to help just lighten the load on you, essentially. Maybe it is personnel. Maybe you do need to hire somebody part-time and stuff like that. But you know what? It's going to be a hell of a lot easier for them to do their job if they have all the information in one spot.
Yeah.
So this isn't a advert for HubSpot or Salesforce or anything like that. Those are just what we happen to use. Highlighting the importance of having such a tool.
Right.
In order to grow your business, maintain your business, you need to have that organization. And that's probably one of the top things that people, when they fail, they don't have that organization. And this is just an easy way to do it.
That's right. Absolutely. So if you need help setting up or deciding what CRM platform you should be using, we do offer CRM research and setup services here at Focus Biz. But it's not required. As an entrepreneur, you are encouraged to do it yourself.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Please do.
Do it yourself. Take a look at it. If you feel like you learned anything here from this podcast, make sure you let us know so that we can continue to putting time, energy, effort, and money into creating this content to help other business owners like ourselves, and whoever here is listening to this in their car on the way home from work. I don't know where I was going with that. In my head, I had something specific, but it probably wasn't appropriate.
You're like coming home from the gymnastics place because you're picked up your gymnastic trophies and you forgot to grab ice on your way home. Like, where are you going with this?
I don't know. I had a thing and then it just like went out. Good thing I'm wearing headphones. It's keeping all this shit in. All right, everybody. Thank you again for the support, for listening. I hope you learned something. Let us know if you did. Let us know if you didn't. And that's just going to help everybody everywhere.
That's right.
Thanks, everybody.